Another night, another chance for the Otters to clinch a playoff spot. After a heartbreaking night of baseball last night in Sauget, Illinois, the Otters down to their last out, not once but twice, and out away from winning a playoff spot. Gateway walking off Evansville in both games. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sauget, Illinois, outside of beautiful downtown St. Louis in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. It's Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast as well on Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network. It's a just picture-perfect night for baseball again. Not a cloud in the sky, sun setting, and a good crowd on hand on a Thursday night from Grizzlies Ballpark. The Otters had some tough blows this season, but no bigger punch to the canvas than what happened last night. The Gateway Grizzlies winning the division against the Otters in a doubleheader sweep of Evansville. Otters were an out away in Game 1 from winning the series when Clint Freeman hit a go-ahead two-run homer to walk things off for Gateway, and then it was more heartbreak and just a bonkers Game number 2 between the Otters and the Grizzlies that went back and forth. Evansville scored 2 runs in the 6th. Dakota Phillips had a 2-run home run to tie the game. Gateway retook the lead in the 6th. Jeffrey Baez scored on an error from the Gateway catcher to tie the game in the 7th. Somehow neither team scored in the 8th. It would go to the sudden death tiebreaker. And the Grizzlies, it would all come down to the last batter. 2 outs, bases loaded. Jake Polancic and the Otters were a strike away from winning and clinching a playoff berth. But the former Otter, Andrew Penner, able to bloop one into center outside of the diving reach of the center fielder Noah Myers, and the Grizzlies walked off for a second straight game in one day and celebrated with plenty of champagne and alcohol on the field after the game, while the Otters have dropped 4 in a row for the first time this season. Still, the sun has risen again for the Otters, and their magic number stays at 1. All the Otters need is a win in their last 4 games of the regular season to book a Frontier League playoff spot, or a Washington loss. The Wild Things are currently tied right now with Joliet, no score, bottom second from Pennsylvania. Should be a fun pitching matchup tonight. The 2 aces of these staffs are facing off. Tim Oldgrafer, the righty, 8-5 with a 2.86 ERA for the Otters, has been dominant all season. He'll face one of the better arms as well in the Frontier League in the ready, Colin Sullivan, 10-4 this year with a 2.82 ERA. Certainly a hitter-friendly ballpark, but 2 of the best arms in the league will try to keep the ball down and keep the bats off the scoreboard. Time to meet the starting lineups. First for the Evansville Otters, 49-43. The Otters 3.5 games back of second place Schaumburg, still an outside chance to host the wild card game. 8 games back of Gateway, who has clinched first place in the Frontier League West, and the Otters trying to avoid being swept for just the second time this season and win tonight. Noah Myers leads off for the Otters and plays left field. Kona Quickle bats second and plays center. Jeffrey Baez batting third and plays right. Dakota Phillips in the cleanup spot will be the first baseman. Yomar Reyes bats fifth and plays third base. Ethan Skinder in the sixth hole and playing second. Bottom 3 in the Otters lineup: Brian Rosario, designated hitter, Justin Felix, the catcher, and George Khalil, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup for Evansville. The Otters offense continues to scuffle, shut out back-to-back games on Sunday and then in the series opener on Tuesday. Had a really big inning, a 5-run second inning in game number 1 last night. But outside of that half inning, the Otters offense still pretty quiet here in Gateway. You take away that big 5-run inning, just 4 runs for the Otters over the first 23 innings of baseball here from Sauget. Other side for the Gateway Grizzlies are 57-35. Gateway has locked up the division. Only thing Gateway has left to play for, the best record in the league. They are half a game back of Quebec and New Jersey for the best record, with the Capitales and Jackals playing in the East. Cole Brandon will lead off today for Gateway and play center field. Andrew Penner bats second and plays second base. Peter Zimmerman, he's back in the starting lineup for Gateway for the first time since early August. One of the biggest stars of this league will bat third and is the designated hitter. Clint Freeman, the hero in Game 1 yesterday for Gateway, in the cleanup spot and playing first base. Kyle Goodell bats fifth and plays left field. DJ Stewart batting sixth and in right field today. Bottom 3 in the Grizzlies lineup: Mark Vierling, the shortstop. Willie Estrada will play third base and bat eighth, and Alex Hernandez rounds out the lineup. And catching for Gateway. Jairus Richards, the Otters are very glad they won't see him tonight. It's just a night off for Richards. Little tweak of the wrist he suffered yesterday when he was hit on the hand. Steve Brook just playing at Costas. So Richards, who has tortured the Otters in this series, has only gotten out twice and has scored 8 runs through the first 3 games, will not play tonight. Willie Estrada, who's primarily a catcher, will slot in at third base for Gateway. Beautiful night, as we mentioned here in Sauget. We've truly been blessed with excellent weather over these 4 games and 3 nights here outside of St. Louis. It's 76 degrees currently. Humidity not playing much of a factor. There's not a cloud in the sky. Light breeze, just 5 miles per hour, but it is blowing out to right field with the shortest porch in the Frontier League, just 300 feet down the right field line here at Grizzlies Ballpark. Our umpires for today, Mike Weinstein is behind the plate. Preston Childers at third, and Eric Whithone is at third base. The uniforms, Otters in all grays today. Evansville written in script blue across the front and blue numerals on the back. Gray pants with no piping, a blue belt, and a blue cap for the Otters with a gray brim and the gray E on the front. Gateway, they're wearing white jerseys today with Grizzlies written in navy blue across the front, navy blue sleeves with blue piping, blue numerals on the back, white pants with blue piping, a blue belt, and a navy blue cap with the Grizzly Bear logo in brown on the front of the cap. Good crowd, a little bit bigger than the first 2 nights of baseball here on a Thursday night. Gateway, their penultimate home series of the regular season. They'll close things out against Lake Erie, while the Otters will head this weekend to take on Schaumburg in the final series of the regular season. The Otters must win tonight and have Schaumburg lose if Evansville has a chance to host the Frontier League wildcard game. But all the Otters focused on tonight, ending the 4-game losing streak, avoiding being swept, and most importantly, clinching that elusive playoff spot and popping some champagne at the end of the night. It's Otters baseball, one final night here from Sauget on the other side on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. National anthem for a 4th and final time here from Sauget in the series finale between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Tonight, the Otters hoping the night to finally clinch that playoff spot before closing the weekend out up in Schaumburg. It's going to be a tough task for the Otters offense tonight. They face the righty ace for Gateway, Colin Sullivan, the second-year rookie out of DeBary, Florida, has been brilliant this season. 10-4 with a 2.82 ERA. in 17 starts and 105 innings pitched, 126 strikeouts. He is a strikeout machine to just 34 walks. He's allowed just 8 home runs, which is impressive at this hitter-friendly ballpark, and has 11 quality starts in the season out of those 17 starts. He is coming off a shaky outing last Friday at Schaumburg. He allowed 6 hits on 6 hits, 4 walks, and ended up allowing 4 runs in 5 innings pitched against Schaumburg. No decision in a game Gateway lost, but he has been brilliant almost all season. Against the Otters, one of his actually more shaky starts, he didn't make it into the 6th inning. That's only the one of 4 times that's happened this year. He went 5 1/3 against the Otters, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, walked 4 batters with 4 strikeouts. The Otters hit 2 home runs off Sullivan at Bosse Field. So Evansville hoping for some more success from their bats tonight against the righty Sullivan. It's certainly an ideal night for the ball to carry out of the yard. Warm, pleasant, light breeze blowing out to right on the short porch here at Bosse Field. Sunshine beaming down without a cloud in the sky on the field on Grizzlies Ballpark. Home plate and the mound in the sunshine. Right field is in the shadows, and the shadows on the infield are about to start creeping across the first base line. Noah Myers steps into the left-handed batter's box. Colin Sullivan is ready on the bump. They're ready for a final night of baseball here from St. Louis. The first pitch home, a strike to Myers at the top of the zone. 0-1 count coming to the lefty leadoff. The pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. Alex Hernandez is catching for Gateway for the 3rd time out of 4 in this series. Clint Freeman at first, Andrew Penner at second, Mark Vierling at short, and Willie Estrada is at third base. The 0-2. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Myers. Kyle Goodell in left field, Cole Brannon in center, and DJ Stewart in right field today. Some changes on the field for Steve Brooks' squad. The 1-2 misses high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned in the pregame show, Jairus Richards, who scored 8 runs in this series, out really just for rest for Gateway, with not much left to play for now on the season for them. 2-2. Popped up high off the end of the bat into shallow left. Racing in is Goodell. 3 white jerseys converging, and it is Goodell who makes the jogging catch in shallow left. Not an easy play fighting the sun. 1 away. 1 out, and we'll bring up the lefty center fielder, Kona Quiggle. Willie Estrada at third base. First time he started there this season for Gateway. Played a little bit of third base last year when he was with Empire State, but he's been a catcher all year for the Grizzlies. DJ Stewart, the primary third baseman for Gateway, is in right field as the first pitch misses outside to Quiggle. 1-0 with Richards on the bench. Third base side of the rubber for Colin Sullivan. Deals a breaking ball on the outside corner for his strike. 1-1. Fastball, slider, cutter, changeup for Sullivan with the fastball 92-93. Black glove sets at the belt, sides the shoulders, and delivers. Swing and a miss by Quiggle. Swinging through a breaking ball, 1-2. Quiggle will call time. Reset his red batting gloves again, matching his almost matching his mahogany-colored bat. The gloves are a little bit brighter color of red than his bat. 1-2 home. Check swing, ball low, appeal down to third. Eric Whitnholm says Quiggle held up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of a bigger crowd on this Thursday night than the first 2 games, but still a lot of empty green seats here at Grizzlies Ballpark that holds a lot of fans, 6,000. 2-2, swinging and a miss. Changeup falling into the turf. 2 away for Sullivan in the first. I'll bring up Jeffrey Baez, the Otters' ready right fielder. First strikeout of the evening for Sullivan. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the first, just underway between the Otters and the Grizzlies in the series finale here from Sauget, the penultimate series of the regular season for Evansville. Ready on ready matchup, Sullivan home. Fastball misses outside, 1-0 to Baez. An Otters win or a Washington loss puts the Otters in the playoffs with 4 games left to play, counting tonight. 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sullivan out of the windup. Swing and a miss by Baez. A slider falling out of the zone, 1-2. Jeffrey is 1 for 8 on this series, but he had a big hit. It was a pitch hit single in the 7th inning of the 2nd game of the doubleheader last night. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And maybe the craziest frame of all, 16 innings we played last night. 7-inning doubleheader, but game 2 ended up taking 9. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball up. Baez strikes out. And Colin Sullivan faces the minimum in the first. Tim Holgrafer, the Otters ace on the bump tonight. He takes the mound on the other side. Scoreless on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the first inning here from Grizzlies Ballpark. No score between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Evansville hoping to clinch a playoff spot tonight, and they may have their ace on the bump to do so. Tim Holgrafer, 8-5 this year with a 2.86 ERA. Tim has had another brilliant year in his 3rd year with the Otters, a Frontier League West All-Star. Otters are 13-6 when Holgrafer's on the mound, and Evansville's won 4 of their last 5 games that Tim has started. 113 1/3 innings work this year for Tim. 89 strikeouts to just 20 walks and just 36 earned runs allowed all season. He's coming off a brilliant outing last Saturday against Florence. That game delayed by 2 hours due to sloppy field conditions. Didn't matter to Holgrafer. 7 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts, just 5 hits allowed, all on singles. He retired the first 10 batters he saw. Ended up not getting the win as Florence tied up that game late. The Otters did up winning the game, though, 4-3. Holgrafer ready on the rubber. The lefty Cole Brannon will lead things off for Gateway here in the bottom of the first. It's Tim's 2nd start against the Grizzlies this season. Sets up on the first base side of the rubber, turns and deals. Brannon fouls it back off the end of the bat. Justin Felix is the catcher for the Otters. Dakota Phillips at first, Ethan Skinner at second, George Khalil at short, and Yomar Reyes at third base. 0-1 to Brannon. Lefty chops it right back to Holgrafer. A couple steps off the mound to glove it on a high hop. Underhand toss to first in time to get Brannon. 2 pitches, 1 out for Holgrafer in the bottom of the first. I'll bring up Andrew Penner, the righty. Noah Myers in left, Kona Quiggle in center, Jeffrey Baez in right. This is certainly the Otters, outside of Felix behind the plate, probably their most common fielding lineup they've fielded all season. And this certainly could be what the Otters, if they make the playoffs, this is their fielders behind whoever is starting in that wild card game next Tuesday. Andrew Penner takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 to the righty, who played hero last night with the walk-off hit in the 2nd game of the doubleheader. 1-0, chopped up the middle. Khalil racing over, dives under his glove into center field. Penner finds the same green grass that he found last night for the walk-off hit. This one, a chopper up the middle past Khalil. It's the first base runner of the game. Penner at first with 1 out. I'll bring up Peter Zimmerman. Felix catching Holgrafer for the 4th time this season. A 2nd straight start for Holgrafer with Felix as his battery partner. 4.86 ERA for Holgrafer when Felix is his catcher. The first pitch to Peter Zimmerman, a strike at the knees, 0-1. That pitcher-catcher battery is powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Tim nods and fires. Fastball on the outside corner, a strike, going 2. 1 on, 1 out, an 0-2 count to the ready Zimmerman. Mentioned he's back in the starting lineup for the first time for the Grizzlies since August 4th. 0-2. He strokes into left field. Coming in is Myers to make the jogging catch, 1 away. Hard hit ball by Zimmerman, but right at Noah Myers, fighting the setting sun. Bouncing off the St. Louis skyline for the second out. 2-away, Penner at first. It brings up the lefty first baseman, Clint Freeman. Freeman was the hero in game number 1 last night for Gateway, hitting the walk-off 2-run home run. The Grizzlies were down to their last out in the bottom of the 7th. Grafer out of the stretch delivers. Fouled straight back. 0-1. Fastball, cutter, and slider. 3-pitch mix for Grafer. If you listen to the Otters this year, you know Tim loves his cutter. It's been the steady force atop the Otters rotation all season long. Certainly a candidate for Frontier League Pitcher of the Year. The 0-1 is lined into left field. Myers over and will play it on a hop. Penner goes to second. A 2-out knock for Clint Freeman, and there's 2 aboard for Gateway with 2 outs in the first. Freeman poking one to the left side. And hopped in front of Myers, who had to sprint to his left to cut off the baseball. Brings up the righty, Kyle Goodell. Grafer will try to get out of a mini jam here in the first inning. Penner at second, Freeman at first. Righty on righty matchup, Grafer to Goodell. Shadows have just crept across the mound as Grafer winds home in the dirt. Good stop by Felix, 1-0. Home plate still just in the edge of the sunshine. Top half of Tim's body in the sun, but quickly the ball goes into the shade before re-emerging in the sun when it reaches the plate. 1-0 home. Check swing by Goodell on a cutter on the outside corner. Goodell went around, says Preston Childers at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grafer looks back at second base and deals a slider on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. Grafer is strike away from getting out of the first inning. Grafer peeping in from the first base side of the rubber. Glove at his chest, now comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Cutter by Grafer down on the zone. Strikes out Goodell for his first German-American Bank strikeout of the game. And Grafer works around 2 hits for a scoreless bottom of the first. No score after 1 between the Grizzlies and the Otters. The Evansville Otters, Digital Network, and Flow Sports. Top of the second inning from Grizzlies Ballpark. No score between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Beautiful Sauget, Illinois. Sun setting to our west over the downtown St. Louis skyline. We're just across the Mississippi River. A beautiful night for baseball. Dakota Phillips swings at the first pitch he sees and lines it into left center. Racing over is Brannon to make a running catch. Phillips off the bat looked like he might have had another double, but Cole Brannon, what a great read, racing into left center field, and his momentum took him all the way to the wall in left center. Sprinting catch by Brannon, one pitch, one out for Sullivan in the second. So one away brings up the righty Yomar Reyes. Sullivan home, Reyes takes all the way for a strike. Matchup of aces tonight. Two All-Stars, Colin Sullivan and Tim Mulgrafer. Both top 10 in the league in wins and ERA. The 0-1 cut on and missed by Reyes on a fastball up 0-2. Feels like it equalizes maybe a little bit how small this ballpark is when how good these pitchers are. The 0-2 is fouled off the top of the screen. Reyes stays alive. Still, it's not been a great week for the Otters offense here in Sauget. Mentioned in the pregame, you take away their big 5-run second inning in game one yesterday. There's still not a lot of runs to look at. The 0-2 inside 1-2. Otters have scored in just 3 other half innings, just 4 total half innings so far through 3 games. 1-2 is lunged and fouled away by Reyes. Stay alive. 7 hits apiece last night. Did have a home run each, and both of those were big. Grand slam by Kona Quiggle. 2-run homer by Dakota Phillips. I think they'll need some more homers tonight if they want to win. 1-2 again. Foul tipped and back off the mask of Hernandez. Sullivan deals. Reyes checks swing. Foul. Almost defending the ball from his body. Yomar looking back down at the bat to inspect, see if any cracks. Maybe asking for some words of wisdom from his bat. You got to sometimes talk to your bat to give it a little bit of encouragement. Another 1-2. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Otters offense. It's been almost 2 weeks now since Evansville double-digit hits. 11 straight games the Otters without double-digit hits. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Cutter falling out of the zone, 2 away, 3 strikeouts for Sullivan. This is a tough night to break out of an Otters offensive slump. First time the Otters this year gone 9 or more games and have been held to single-digit hits. All 9. It's now 11 after just 7 apiece last night. Ethan Skinder, the righty, steps up and takes outside 1-0. 2 outs, nobody on, top second, no score. Certainly not the time that the Otters were hoping to go into an offensive slump, but they've got 4 games to shake out of it. The 1-0 is fouled back to the screen, 1-1. You'd rather do it this week than next week. The Otters get into the playoffs. It's a single-game wild card against Schaumburg. The Otters lose tonight, even if they get into the playoffs, whether that's tonight with the Washington loss or later this weekend, the 1-1 inside, 2 balls to 1 strike. Otters will know they will play it at Wintrust Field. Evansville's already packed to plan to stay on the road through Tuesday, so Otters will get into Schaumburg early this morning and likely stay there for the next 5 days. The 2-1 is fouled off the end of the bat, 2-2. And the pro to that is the Otters are going to be used to the field. They're going to be comfortable in the hotel. No bus ride the day of the game. Sleep and rest day on Monday. It's also going to feel like a very long road trip for the Otters, being on the road for 9 straight days. And 5 straight nights in a hotel can really wear on you as well. The Otters win tonight and Schaumburg loses. An Evansville sweep of Schaumburg, and the Otters would host the wildcard game on Tuesday at Bosse. 2-2 to Skinder. Outside, and Skinder's worked it full. Joliet is leading Washington. 1-0 lead for the Slammers over the Wild. Things bottom 4 from Western PA. Full count to Skinder. Sullivan out of the windup deals. Inside, ball 4. First base runner for the Otters against the Grizzlies' ace, Colin Sullivan. Skinder's aboard at first with 2 outs. I'll bring up Brian Rosario, switch hitter batting lefty for the Otters. It's Rosie's 3rd straight start in this series. Rosario went 1 for 5 yesterday. Did have 2 stolen bases. He's 2 away from tying the Otters' single-season record for most stolen bases in a year. First pitch home to the lefty, a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Liam MacArthur, RBI base hit for Joliet in the top of the 3rd, has given them a 1-0 lead. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning now from Western PA. We'll keep you updated. 1-0, or the 0-1, excuse me, and for a strike 0-2. Good chance that game finishes before we finish here, so if Joliet wins that ball game, the Otters will get to celebrate tonight regardless of the results here, but it will certainly be a little bit more of a somber celebration if the Otters are swept for just the 2nd time this year. 3-stride lead at first for Ethan Skinder. 0-2. Fouled left side and out of play. Good long inning worked here by the Otters bats, and Colin Sullivan's pitch count up to 35 pitches already here in the 2nd. Shadows have crept across all of the infield, bouncing off the wall now in left field. 0-2, Skinder takes off. Rosario pops it up left side and out of play again. There's some great views in the Frontier League from stadiums, but it's hard to beat the one here from Grizzlies Ballpark. The back of the concourse, you turn around, look west, and at this time, you just get a spectacular view of the sun setting directly over the St. Louis skyline with the Gateway Arch right in the middle of everything. 0-2, swing and a miss. Breaking ball outside of the zone, strikes out Rosario. Otters a walk in the 2nd, no hits, no runs. Middle of the 2nd, no score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 2nd inning from Grizzlies Ballpark on a beautiful night from Sauget, Illinois. No score between Evansville and Gateway. Matchup of the aces between Tim Holdgrafer and Colin Sullivan. Time for a check of the SealCorp Frontier League standings. We've already talked about all the implications in the West. Gateway has locked up the Frontier League West, clinching last night. They're 4.5 games up on Schaumburg. The Otters 8 games back of first place. Washington needing to win out, and the Otters to lose out to sneak into the playoffs. Past Evansville is 4 games back of the Otters. Joliet, Windy City, Florence, and Lake Erie in that order, rounding out the rear in the West. First pitch home to the righty, DJ Stewart cut on and missed on a cutter, 0-1. The East playoff race remains fascinating. It really has through the last couple months. Ready on ready matchup. Here comes the 0-1 from Tim. Pitch. Inside corner, a strike on another cutter, 0-2. New Jersey already lost today to Empire State. The exact same record as Quebec now, 57-34. One of those teams is going to win the division. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Nasty slider from Oldgrafer falling out of the zone, one away. The second German-American bank strikeout for Tim Oldgrafer. There's one out in the bottom of the second with nobody on. Tri-City, New York, and Sussex County are fighting for the third and final playoff spots. How about Sussex County? They've won 3 in a row. Tri-City has lost 4 in a row. New York's lost 2 in a row. And the Miners are trying to complete a miraculous comeback in this last week of the year to sneak into the playoffs. Mark Vierling, the ready, takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. Sussex County has to beat Tri-City again today, and if they do, the Miners are just a game back of a playoff spot. New York's hoping to win at Quebec. The 0-1 grounded left side. Reyes plays it back on a hop, but it's foul. Just skipped to the left of the third base bag. 0-2 count to Vierling. So Tri-City a game up on New York and 2 games up on Sussex County in the East for that last playoff spot. New Jersey and Quebec will finish first and second. It's just a matter of who wins the division. Ottawa, Trois-Rivières, and Empire State bringing up the rear in that order in the East. It's your Frontier League standings, the 4th to last night of the year, brought to you by Seal Corp. 0-2 from Holgrafer. Lined left side. Khalil plays it back on a hop on the edge of left field grass. Throw to first. Skips over the glove of Phillips. And back to the backstop. Vierling safe at first. Really long throw for George Khalil, the shortstop. The edge of the left field grass. He skipped it to Phillips, who couldn't pick it off the turf. Will go down as a hit for Vierling. It's just a tough play for Khalil to make that long of a throw, and Phillips just was unable to find the baseball, skip off the turf. It's tough for the Otters when you play on an all-natural field for most of this season. Then you move to turf, the ball bounces very differently. Willie Estrada stands in and fouls the first pitch away third base side, well fielded by the Grizzlies manager, Steve Brook. Third single of the evening already for Gateway. Vierling at first with 1 out in the bottom of the second, no score. A 1 count to the ready third baseman, Estrada. Oldgrafer at the chest, nods. And deals. Popped up, out of play, 0-2. Might be one of the biggest differences. Certainly the mound is another one if pitchers dealing with all natural surfaces versus an artificial turf. But the bounce, it's just so different on turf than on a natural surface. 0-2. Chop foul, third base side. We know we've talked about too, it's often up to the Otters' advantage in a way because the natural surface is going to lead to a lot more weird bounces while the turf isn't. But in terms of that play for Phillips trying to scoop the baseball, he's not expecting as a high hop on a natural surface, while on turf, that ball's going to skip up a lot more. And I think that's actually a little bit harder of a play to make as you're trying to stretch at the first base bag and reel in a high hopper that's coming to you. Oldgrafer spins around back to first. Estrada steps back on the bag. Otters will journey this weekend to Schaumburg, which is the only other stadium in the West that is an all-natural surface. 0-2 home. Check swing, pitch outside. Estrada held up, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This odd quirk of the schedule, Otters' first and only trip here to Sauget, and then the Otters' only trip to Schaumburg this weekend. 1-2 home. Grounded left side, could be 2. Khalil tosses the second to Skinder for 1, over to first, double play. 6-4-3 double play. A picture perfect turn by the Otters. Khalil to Skinder to Phillips. It clears the bases, And Holdgrafer faces the minimum in the second. No score after 2 innings played on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Two innings complete tonight from Sauget, Illinois. No score between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Evansville still looking for their first hit against the ready Colin Sullivan, while Tim Holdgrafer has allowed 3 singles, but got help with an inning-ending double play in the second. 2 innings scoreless against this potent Grizzlies offense. Justin Felix, 8-9-1, due up here for the Otters in the third. First pitch to the righty catcher, misses low for a ball, 1-0 to Felix. Reaching dusk here in Sauget. Last rays of sunlight bouncing off the top of the high wall in left field. The 1-0 fouled straight back, 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of interesting elements to this ballpark here just outside of St. Louis. It hasn't been utilized in this weekday series here between the Otters and the Grizzlies. The 1-1 fouled straight back by Felix right off the mask of Hernandez. That's no fun. Hernandez just taking a moment to reset himself, take off the mask, walk around behind home plate. Mike Weinstein will give him a moment as well. 1-2 count to Felix, nobody out in the top of the third, no score. The coolest element of Grizzlies Ballpark has to be the suite down the right field line, the hot tub suite. It's the only hot tub in a ballpark in the Frontier League. No one has used it this week, the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I tell you, if the technology was possible, I for sure would pay a little extra for the hot tub suite and call the game from there. Sounds good to me. 2-2 home. At the knees, strike 3 call. Felix strikes out looking, 1 out in the top of the third. Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure and check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. First pitch to George Khalil, misses low for a ball, 1-0. 1 out, nobody on, top third. Scoreless between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Evansville's lost 4 in a row, trying to avoid a 4-game sweep at the hands of Gateway. 1-0 home. On the inside corner for his strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Australian shortstop. Out of the windup, the pitch home. Khalil pops it up high into the twilight sky. Behind home plate is Alex Hernandez. The catcher reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 2 outs. Colin Sullivan looking dominant. The Grizzlies ace the first time through the Otters lineup. Just a walk and 5 strikeouts. Noah Myers will try again here to start off the second time through the order for the Otters with 2 outs, nobody on in the third. Pitch home from Sullivan. Myers takes low, 1-0. Last game of August for Noah, and if there was a Frontier League Player of the Month award, I think Noah Myers would win it. 1-0 home. A slider on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. .317 batting average this season for Noah, but in the month of August, he has taken his game to a new level. 1-1. Chopped off the end of the bat, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Noah's hitting .348 with a .474 on base percentage in the month of August. .674 slugging percentage. He has 15 total extra base hits this month in the final game of August. 1-2 home. Check swing. Did Myers go around? Yes, he did, and foul tipped it into the glove of Alex Hernandez. 6 strikeouts for Colin Sullivan through 3. We've got a pitcher's duel on our hands. Tim Oldgrafer and Colin Sullivan, the 2 aces, looking strong early. Scoreless, middle of the third on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Scoreless between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Bottom of the third inning under twilight evening skies on a lovely Thursday night here in the St. Louis metro area. Otters' only trip here to Sauget. Hoping to salvage a victory. They went 6-1 here last year. They're 0-3 to start the week. Alex Hernandez leads off for Gateway and takes a first pitch strike from Tim Oldgrafer. 2 innings pitched for Tim on 27 pitches. He's allowed 3 singles, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Ready on a ready matchup out of the windup, the 0-1. Grounded third base side right at Yomar Reyes. Gloves at his feet, pauses, and throws to first to beat Hernandez by 2 strides. 1 away. Completes the first time through the lineup for Oldgrafer, back to the top of the order, and Cole Brannon. Lefty batting Brannon. Face the ready Oldgrafer. No runs, no hits for the Otters. No runs, 3 hits for Gateway. Oldgrafer turns and delivers. Grounded up the middle. Coming in is George Khalil on a softly hit ball. Gloves throw to first in time to get Brannon by a step. That was a close play at first. It was a pretty softly hit baseball, and Khalil eventually got to it on the edge of the green turf, and Brannon turned around and had a word for Preston Childers. He thought he was safe. 2 quick outs for Oldgrafer here in the bottom half of the third. Bring up Andrew Penner at a base hit his first time up. A 1 home. A cutter on the inside corner, 0-1. So I mentioned the hot tub suite here at Grizzlies Ballpark. Right down the right field line, there's some chairs and seats around it so you can enjoy the hot tub and then get out and have a great view of the game. Directly down the right field line by the foul pole. The 0-1 inside 1-1. You could even enjoy the crazy burger they have here at Grizzlies Ballpark. The best of baseball burger, they call it. Here's the 1-1. Penner grounds one softly to the shortstop, Khalil. Gloves it, throw to first, beats Penner by 2 steps. We'll talk more about burgers on the other side. Holdgrafer and Sullivan are dealing after 3 innings. No score between the Otters and the Grizzlies on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Three innings complete from Grizzlies Ballpark. A beautiful night for baseball in the series finale between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Evansville hoping to clinch a playoff berth tonight. They need a win or a Washington loss. The Otters' magic number has been stuck at 1 since Sunday as they've lost 4 in a row. Kona Quiggle leads off for the Otters in a scoreless ball game. Evansville's hitless through the first 3 innings against Gateway's ace Colin Sullivan, who has 6 strikeouts and has allowed just 1 base runner on a walk. Ready on lefty batter matchup. Pitch home to Quiggle. A strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So I was talking last inning about the Grizzlies burger here. Baseball's best burger, and maybe it is, or maybe it's baseball's worst burger, depending on your perspective. The 0-1. Sails high. Check down to the third base umpire on the check swing. He held up 1-1. I think any doctor would call it baseball's worst burger. Bacon and a juicy hamburger stacked not between 2 buns, the 1-1 fouled away, but stacked between 2 sugar-high glazed donuts. You got some cheddar cheese in there, too, in case there weren't enough calories already. That's 2 donuts, bacon, a hamburger, and cheese. 2 slices of bacon. Yeah, that's important. Not 1 slice. That wouldn't be enough. 1-2 to Quiggle. Swing and a miss. Fastball in. Quiggle strikes out, 1 away. 7 strikeouts for Colin Sullivan. 1 away. It brings up the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez. He struck out his first time to the plate. Ready on ready matchup. Look, it's not for me, baseball's best burger. And maybe I eat a little healthy. I should be more adventurous in life, but I can understand why people would love it. Baez takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner, 0-1. I'm more interested by the grasshoppers, the fried grasshoppers they serve at T-Mobile Ballpark up in Seattle. Like that'd be the eclectic food I'd like to try in ballparks across America. The 0-1 is popped up high into the sky by Baez. Back is Cole Brennan. A few steps under the baseball, makes the backpedaling catch. 2 outs. 2 away, and it brings up Dakota Phillips. 6 straight Otters have been retired by Colin Sullivan after he started the game, retiring the first 5. Lefty batting Phillips to face Sullivan. The Otters trying to find some way to disrupt Sullivan's rhythm. First pitch, swing and a miss by Phillips on a big fastball, 0-1. Outside, 1-1 strike. Baseball's best burger was even featured on the Travels Channel's Man vs. Food back in 2009. So I love the idea of man fighting food to see who wins. The 1-1 grounded right side under the glove of the first baseman Freeman and into right field. That's an E3, right? Just skipped right under the first baseman's glove. And Phillips is aboard at first. Well, they're going to rule it a hit. So it'll go down as a base hit for Dakota Phillips. That's his 4th hit of the series. Ball that skipped under the glove of Freeman. It was a pretty hard hit baseball. So Phillips at first with 2 outs, and it brings up the righty Omar Reyes. Pitch home is fouled off the screen, 0-1. Just love the idea of, can the food defeat you? And I certainly think that burger with 2 donuts could beat a man. Could beat man or woman. 0-1. Slider outside, 1-1 strike. I'm curious to see what other foods they have on there. It's more or less the person and more almost your stomach. Is your stomach willing to able to handle the food? 1-1. Popped up off the end of the bat, high in the sky to right. Racing over is Stewart. A few steps from the line, reaches up and makes the catch. Colin Sullivan dealing tonight. That's 4 shutout. Middle of the 4th, no score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 4th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark. No score between Evansville and Gateway. Peter Zimmerman will lead off for the Grizzlies. Out of the lineup, 3-4-5 coming up for Gateway. No score. Otters just 1 hit. Dakota Phillips single last inning. Gateway has 3 singles off Holdgrafer. Tim fires home. A first pitch low to Zimmerman, 1-0. Peter Zimmerman back in the lineup for Gateway. Huge addition for the Grizzlies. They'll kick off the playoffs a week from today. 1-0. Hard hit ball left side past the diving Khalil into left field. Barreled up by Zimmerman on a scorching grounder through the 5-6 gap. A leadoff single for Zimmerman. That's the first leadoff runner aboard on either side so far tonight. That brings up Clint Freeman. Huge to have Zimmerman back. He pinch hit last night in the sudden death tiebreaker and got a hit. It was his first appearance since August 4th, and now making his first start since that first week of August. First pitch home to the lefty. Freeman swing and a miss, 0-1. Zimmerman was hit on the head on a pitch at Washington in early August. And of course, with head injuries, you want to be as cautious as possible, wait until the player is fully confident to get back in the lineup. 0-1 to Freeman. Grounded right side. Phillips gloves it. A fair ball and steps on the bag. No, foul. Oh, what a play that would have been by Dakota Phillips if it stayed fair. That was a hot hopper. Dak made a great play to field it off a hop, but it just skipped to the right of the first base bag. Preston Childers with a good angle right behind first base. So an 0-2 count to Freeman. Back to first goes Zimmerman. Well, Grafer nods and fires. Low, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freeman. Zimmerman, his numbers are really astonishing, even with the last 20 or so games off. It's just his 67th game played. Outside of a couple New Jersey Jackals, he leads the league and runs batted in, 83 on the season. 1-2, golfed right side. Phillips racing in. He'll toss to second for 1. Khalil throws back to first, skips under the glove of Holdgrafer, and goes back to the backstop. But Freeman will hold it first. And Freeman and Zimmerman trade places at first base, and the Otters take it out here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-6 fielder's choice. Phillips throwing to Khalil, and the throw back really did not have much of a chance of catching Freeman. So 1 out, and it brings up the right-handed left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Lights are on and starting to come into effect. First pitch show misses outside, 1-0. An orange glaze over the sky with the sun setting here at twilight to the west. 1-0 home. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Goodell. This will be Tim O'Grafer's last start of the regular season. Certainly could be lined up to start in the wild card game, which is in 5 days. That'd be normal rest for Tim. 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Certainly was dominant in his last outing against Florence on Saturday, and looking great so far tonight with 3 1/3 shutout. Tim nods and deals. Swing and a miss again. Another cutter in on the hands with a late tail movement. 2-2. Holdgrafer is to face the Boomers in the wild card game. He's faced them twice. Quality outing in his last start. 6 innings pitched, allowed 8 hits, but just 3 runs. Had one of his poor outings, though, in his first start against the Boomers. The 2-2 is fouled off the end of the bat, and Goodell stays alive. Allowed 9 hits, which was tied for a season high, and 4 runs. Took a loss in 6 innings against Schaumburg the first time he faced the Boomers, though he didn't get any run support in that game. Braden Scott has not pitched yet this week for the Otters. Evansville has not decided on a rotation for this weekend. He would be the other primary candidate for the Otters to start a potential wildcard game on Tuesday. 2-2 to Goodell. Popped up high into the sky in foul territory. Reyes, the third baseman, racing over. Looking up, he never saw the baseball. And it one hops in front of the Otters dugout. It was in play, but sure Felix ever saw the Otters catcher that came over, and Reyes just put up his hands, and it bounced 5 feet in front of him. This is especially looking where Reyes was, straight out west, where the last rays of sun are setting and the lights are starting to come into effect, as I mentioned. Really tough time to pick up a baseball, and Reyes never found it. I always say the most dangerous time to drive is right at dusk and dawn. The lights will almost play tricks with you. 2-2 is grounded, third base side and foul. Imagine to the same accord, the hardest time to try to catch a fly ball is during dusk, or God forbid that you're playing baseball at dawn. That would be, I don't know what would have gone wrong to be playing baseball at 6 in the morning, but I guess it's possible. 2-2. Chopped off the end of the bat. Back to Holgrafer, could be 2. Throws to second to Skinner for 1. Back to first, not in time. Goodell runs it out. 2 outs. Softly hit chopper right back to Holgrafer. Was probably hit a little bit too slowly to have a chance at 2, but Holgrafer gets the force at second. Goodell trades places with Freeman, now 2 outs after the single by Zimmerman. Back-to-back fielders' choices. Bring up the ready right fielder, DJ Stewart. Goodell at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scoreless between the Otters and the Grizzlies. Pitch home from Tim. High chopper, right side. Coming in, Skinner, he gloves it off a hop, tosses to first. In time for the out. 4-3 ground out, retires the side in the 4th. Holgrafer works around a leadoff single for another scoreless inning. It's 4 shutout for the Otters ace. We've got Goose Eggs on the scoreboard after 4 innings of baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top of the 5th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark, a excellent pitcher's duel this evening in the series finale from Sauget. No score between the Otters and the Grizzlies, just 5 combined hits, 1 for Evansville, 4 for Gateway, and they've all been singles. No really serious threats on either side to score any runs. And just an hour into baseball, already into the 5th. Ethan Skinner leads off for the Otters against Colin Sullivan. Fouls the first pitch he sees away. 60 pitches for Sullivan here starting the 5th inning. He struck out 7, just 1 walk and 1 hit allowed. Working on the third base side of the rubber, the 0-1. Skinner pops up right sided out of play, 0-2. Joliet still leads Washington in Western Pennsylvania. 1-0 lead for the Slammers over the Wild Things. They've gone to the bottom of the 6th inning from Wild Things Ballpark. Ricky Castro, starter for the Slammers of the Otters, didn't see this year. Is pitching a gem. Trying to help out Evansville and secure that playoff spot for the Otters. 0-2 home. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes. If Joliet win and the Otters are in, doesn't matter what they do tonight. Just a 1-run ball game as that reaches the latter stages. We'll keep you updated. The game likely to finish before I see her, though we're moving along at a quick pace this evening here in Sauget as well. Skinner fouls one back to the screen. It stays 1-2. Sullivan sizes the shoulders and deals. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan. Not a lot of Otters hitting well, but Skinner is not one of them. He's been terrific at the plate. Leads the Otters over the last 10 Evansville games, hitting .323. Hits of 8 of his last 9 starts. 2-2, skips low, and a full count. 5 runs to go for in those 8 starts. Skinner has 2 hits on the series. Came in to pinch hit in game 2, but didn't start last night. The 3-2 is ripped down the left field line, but foul, bouncing into the Otters bullpen. Look out, everyone. One of the Otters just down there stretching and had to duck and cover and be warned by his teammates. Try to avoid the bouncing ball off the bat of Ethan. Our payoff pitch coming. Ready on ready matchup. Sullivan deals. Skinder clubs one left side off the glove of Estrada, the third baseman, rolling across the infield dirt, and Skinder's safe at first. A hit off the bat of Ethan Skinder. Estrada in his first start of the year at third base had a really tough play, and he couldn't squeeze the baseball. You know, Skinder just missed one when he ripped the ball down the third base line. He was just a little bit late, times it up, and gets himself on base for his third hit of the series. Leadoff runner aboard for the Otters. Skinder has good speed as Evansville's trying to score first tonight. Brian Rosario shows bunt, pops it up down the third base line out of the reach of the racing catcher Hernandez. Estrada came running over from third as well. Certainly feels like tonight one run could be the difference. It's an excellent pitching matchup between the two aces, Tim Oldgrafer and Colin Sullivan. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Skinder at first. Ethan, 20 of 24 this year stealing bases, including a couple in this series. He's got a 3-stride lead at first. Middle infield shaded up the middle for Gateway. 0-1. Rosario shows bunt, pulls it back, sails high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rosie struck out his first time to the plate, hitting .235 on the season. Lights are on and pretty much into full effect now. Some orange light just peeking over the western horizon here in western Illinois. 1-1, Rosario shows bunt again, lunges and fouls it off the end of the bat. Rosario can't get one down, and now in a 1-2 hole. No score, top 5 in the series finale here from Sauget, just to the east of downtown St. Louis. Sullivan out of the windup, deals. Rosario shows bunt, pulls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Showing bunt with 2 strikes after fouling already 2 away. Rosario looking at the signs from the Otters manager Andy McCauley. Skinder just a 2-stride lead now at first. Takes 1 more step to extend it to 3. Rosario showing bunt already. Estrada coming in from third. Here's the pitch. Rosario lays down a bunt. Back to the pitcher. Throws to second in time. Close play at second. Rosario able to finally get the bunt down right back to Sullivan. He made the risky throw to second. And it was a bang-bang call by the third base umpire, Eric Whitholm. Skinder slid in time, but they ruled that the ball got into the glove first of Penner before Skinder got in. Don't have to tag with the force on. So Rosario just trades places with Skinder at first with 1 out. You do replace Skinder, a very fast runner, with a lightning fast runner in Brian Rosario and his 48 stolen bases. Rosario takes off, pitches low, and a head first slide in safely for Rosario without a throw. Stolen base number 49 of the season for Brian Rosario, and he's now 1 away from tying the Otters' single-season record. It's his 3rd stolen base in the last 3 games played here in Sauget. 1-0 to Felix, and Rosario in scoring position. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Felix struck out his first time to the plate, trying to come through for the Otters here. So for 4 in his only start of this series on Tuesday. The 1-1, swing and a miss again. Another slider from Sullivan, 1-2. Felix will call time. Sullivan looks back at second at a dancing Rosario. Long look back at second. Sullivan pauses and throws. Felix grounds at third base side, but well foul. Sullivan's pitch count is working its way upwards, over 75 pitches down, nearing 80 in fact. His season high is 113. One-two count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider strikes out Felix, 2 away, and strikeout number 8 tonight for Sullivan. He is a strikeout machine, 126 strikeouts entering today in 105 innings. And the Otters struggling to just get the ball in play at times against Sullivan tonight. So 2 outs for George Khalil, with Rosario still at second in this tie ball game. Sullivan out of the stretch, delivers. Khalil fouls it back off the screen, 0-1. Other score that affects the Otters tonight, it's in Florence. The Alls lead the Boomers 4-2, bottom 7. Florence win and Otters win, and Evansville can still host a home game in the wild card, though they'll have to sweep Schaumburg. The 0-1 grounded left side, backhanded by the shortstop Vierling. Throw across to first, bounces off the glove of Freeman, back to the backstop, and Rosario scores. 1-0 Otters. For the first time in this series, the Otters score first on the E6 from Vierling. Chopper to the shortstop, Vierling, and he hopped it to Freeman, who couldn't scoop it as it bounced off the top of his glove with 2 outs. Rosario coming all the way around to score as the ball got back to the backstop. And the Otters find a way to scratch across a run here against Sullivan in the 5th. Khalil now at second, back to the top of the order, and the lefty Noah Myers. Sullivan home, Myers fouls it off the screen, 0-1. Just 2 hits in this game for the Otters, but they've moved a run across here in the 5th for a 1-0 lead. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Guess what? Another close ball game here from Sauget. Both games yesterday decided by 1 run, both Gateway walk-offs. Hard to imagine a more heartbreaking day for a baseball team. The 1-1 at the knees for a strike, 1-2. Not just being walked off in both games, but being walked off when the Otters were an out away from winning in both. An out away when Clint Freeman hit a walk-off 2-run home run in the 7th in Game 1, and then an out away in the sudden death tiebreaker before Andrew Penner's RBI base hit up the middle, walking things off for Gateway in Game 2. 1-2 home. Checked foul off the end of the bat, and back to the back of the backstop. Myers keeps it 1-2. Odd note, Otters have played 4 doubleheader games this year, 4 7-inning games. Doubleheader in Windy City in early June. All 4 of them have finished in walk-offs. How strange is that? Sullivan deals outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Otters and T-Bolts traded walk-offs in a doubleheader in June at Windy City. Otters won the first game, sudden death walk-off. Windy City won in 7 and a walk-off in Game 2. And then last night, Gateway winning both games in walk-off fashion. 2-2. Fouled away left side and out of play. A good battle here between Myers and Sullivan. That pitch count working up more and more for the Gateway righty. Third base side of the rubber for Sullivan. At the belt, looks back at Khalil at second. And fires home. Low and a full count to Myers. This has been a really nice bat. Worked by Noah Myers. 2 walks, 2 hits on the series, and working on a 14-game on-base streak. Payoff home. Popped up left side and drifting out of play. So much Noah does well, so much we've talked about it in the month of August. His long at-bats are one of his best traits. Starts fouling off pitches, and feels like when at-bats go this long, it always favors the hitter, especially as one as crafty as Myers. Third payoff home. Driven into center field, racing in. Brandon will play it on a hop. It bounces off the glove of Brandon and over his head, still rolling behind him. Khalil will score. Myers headed all the way to third as Brandon finally retrieves it and throws it into the infield. An RBI single for Noah Myers, and it's 2-0 Evansville. One an at bat by Myers. Took the third payoff pitch of the bat, and Noah finally bloops one into center, and then Brandon misplayed the baseball. It took a high hop, bounced off his glove and over his head, and what would have been a single for Myers. He went all the way to third on the E8. 2 errors in the inning for Gateway. So Myers now at third base, and it brings up Kona Quiggle. First pitch home to Kona Quiggle. Big swing and a miss. A 1. Kona has struck out both times today against Sullivan. 2 across here in the 5th for the Otters. Take a 2-0 lead. A 1 home. It's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a base hit for Myers, and then the E8 moving Noah over to third. Big deep breath by Sullivan, and the 1-1 home. Popped up off the end of the bat, down the third base line and drifting out of play. Oh, look out into the first row of the seats. And nobody made the catch. It slipped right through the hands, really right through the wickets of the awaiting arms of a fan in the first row, and he can't believe it. And to add insult to injury, or really to add injury to insult, he took it off his chest and then didn't get the ball either. A young girl got it behind him. At least he's got a beer in front of to drink away his sorrows. It was a 9-pitch at bat, by the way, before Myers getting the RBI base hit. 1-2, outside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 9 for Sullivan, but the Otters strike first in the 5th. George Khalil bringing home Brian Rosario on a throwing error from the shortstop Veerling, and then Noah Myers, a 9-pitch at bat with 2 outs before launching an RBI single into center field to score Khalil. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 2-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Grizzlies here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein joining you on a beautiful evening from Sauget. The Otters scoring 2 in the 5th, helped by a 2-out error by the shortstop Mark Veerling. Ethan Skinner had the leadoff base hit in the first. Noah Myers an RBI base hit as well. And 2 coming across for the Otters on 2 hits and an error. Actually 2 errors by Gateway in the inning to take a 2-0 lead. Tim Oldgrafer back out to work the bottom of the 5th. Mark Veerling leads off for Gateway. Took a first pitch high for a ball and the 1-0 home. Grounded left side right to George Khalil at short. Collects, tosses to first, beats Veerling by 2 steps, and there's 1 out. Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use 10 Bars Professional Brand Products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations, beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on, all since 1940. 1 out, nobody on for the righty Willie Estrada. It's 2-0 Otters. Oldgrafer deals to the righty, a beautiful cutter on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. It's one of the prettier pitches Tim has thrown all night. This looks like it's almost going to hit Estrada, and then that late tail at the end just catches the inside corner of the plate. 0-1, popped up by Estrada into center field. This ball's falling quickly. Diving is Myers, or Quiggle actually, outside of his reach, and a base hit for Estrada. Off the bat, that ball looked like it might carry enough for Quiggle to make a routine play, but it started dying quickly on a winless night in right center. 3 gray jerseys conversion, Quiggle, Baez, and Skinner. Quiggle a full extension dive to try to reel in the baseball, but maybe half a foot outside of his reach. And a base hit with 1 out for Estrada. Brings up Alex Hernandez. 2-0 Otters lead, bottom of the 5th. Oldgrafer home, and Hernandez fouls it straight back and out of play, 0-1. It's been an efficient night at the office so far for Oldgrafer. Just 53 pitches here in the 5th inning. 0-1 home. Swing and a miss to the slider for Oldgrafer, 0-2. Washington has taken the lead over Joliet. 2-1 lead for the Wild Things, now top 7. So Anthony Brocato, a 2-run home run for Washington. Washington holds on to win. The Otters need a win here to clinch tonight. The 0-2, check swing by Hernandez. He went around. Nasty breaking ball in the turf. Hernandez can't hold up. Tim Oldgrafer has strikeout number 3 tonight. Two outs, back to the top of the order, and Cole Brannon. Oldgrafer trying to complete 5 scoreless. Winds home to the lefty, outside 1-0. Tim coming off 7 shutout against Florence in his last start at Bosse Field on Saturday night. And he has been brilliant again tonight. The command, such a big part of Tim's game, has been back these last 2 starts. It's been a big factor for his renewed success. The 1-0, a fastball on the inside corner, 1-1. Just 1 walk in his last outing, no walk so far tonight. Not sure he's even gotten to 3 balls in any at bat. I don't remember that happening. 1-1 home. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Brannon. Oldgrafer had back-to-back outings on the road in the Otters' last 6-game road trip 2 weeks ago. They walked 3 batters each, which was a season high. Gave up 4 runs apiece in each outing, which for the high standards that the Otters have for Tim is a lousy outing. For most pitchers, it's not that bad of a night. The 2-1 fouled off the end of the bat and back under the glove of Felix, who quickly retrieves it, 2-2. Tim has been completely dominant for the Otters now through his start and a half. Looking to complete 5 shutout. 2-2 count with 2 outs and 1 on. The pitch home, swing and a miss. Breaking ball strikes out Brannon. It's 5 shutout for Tim Oldgrafer. 4 strikeouts and the Otters in front after 5, 2-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top 6 from Grizzlies Ballpark. 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Grizzlies. Otters hoping tonight is the magic night to pop some champagne and clinch a playoff spot. So close last night and out away in both games from winning. They've got another lead tonight. Day is done for the Grizzlies. Ace Colin Sullivan didn't allow an earned run, 93 pitches. He finishes at 5 innings pitched, and Trevor Tietz comes into the ball game for Gateway, the only arm out of the bullpen that Gateway hasn't used in this series. Tietz, 42 games, a 2.66 ERA, 1-1 record. Fastball, slider, changeup, 3-pitch mix for the big righty. 6'3", 205 out of Watertown, Wisconsin. Second-year rookie fires home, a first pitch strike at the knees to Jeffrey Baez. Gateway used 6 different arms out of the pen last night over the 2 games. 0-1. High, 1 ball and 1 strike. So that's a tired Gateway bullpen. Doesn't have a whole lot to play for now tonight after clinching the division with that second win last night. See how Steve Brook plays it the rest of the way in a 2-run ball game. 1-1. Baez pops up right side and drifting out of play. 1-2. 2 runs in the 5th for the Otters. Otters helped by a throwing error by the shortstop Mark Vierling, who bounced one under the glove of Clint Freeman at first. Would have been the last out of the inning. Scored a run, and then Noah Myers followed with an RBI base hit to make it a 2-run 5th. The 1-2. Foul tipped off the end of the bat of Baez, and he stays alive. Schaumburg has now taken the lead against Florence. 5-4 lead Boomers. Top 8th. Schaumburg trying to avoid the sweep before Evansville plays them this weekend. 1-2. Misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a Schaumburg win as well, guaranteeing they will host the Frontier League wildcard game on Tuesday night. It's a 1-game wildcard Tuesday night. Winner will face Gateway in a best-of-3 series. 2-2. Baez fouls off the screen. The lower-seeded team, the 2 or 3 seed, will host Game 1 on Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday for Game 2, and if needed, a Game 3 that will be played here at Grizzlies Ballpark. 2-2. Outside and a full count. And then the next week, the championship series to follow between the winner of the East and the winner of the West. We know New Jersey and Quebec into the playoffs in the East, but still Tri-City, New York, and Sussex County all fighting for the final playoff spot. The payoff home, swing and a miss. Baez strikes out on the big slider by Tietz, and there's 1 away. One out, it brings up Dakota Phillips. The lefty's 1 for 2 today. It's a 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Grizzlies here in the top of the 6th. Pitch home to Dak. Swing and a miss, 0-1. The Otters getting to spend some time in St. Louis. We're almost in the shadow of the Gateway Arch here in Sauget, about 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis, across the Mississippi River. Mentioned the beautiful skyline you can see from the ballpark. The 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Otters Hotel is literally in the shadow, though, of the Gateway Arch, right across the river from the Arch. The 1-1. Check swing by Phillips. He went around a ball on the turf, 1-2. Was lucky enough to take a little tram over the river yesterday afternoon. Get to walk around downtown St. Louis and the beautiful Gateway Arch. Such a gorgeous sight, incredible piece of architecture. 1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You've probably driven by the arch before, but it's really worth walking up and standing underneath it to really fully take in the marvel of the architecture. 2-2, sail side. Check swing by Phillips. Appeal down to third base umpire Eric Whitholm. Phillips held up at a full count. It's 630 feet high. Weighs 43,000 tons. Here's the payoff home to Dak. Outside, ball 4. Walk for Phillips, and the Otters have one aboard with one out as it brings up Yomar Reyes. 2-0 Otters lead in the top of the 6th. Now, from a distance, the arch looks impressive, but you just don't realize how big and tall and massive it is until you actually walk right up to it, because it's just one of those things where it's around a lot of other skyscrapers that are tall, and you can't see the specks of people at the base of the arch. First pitch to Reyes, the righty, and for his strike in on the hands. Can even take up a little tram inside the arch, and there's viewing windows at the top of the arch. You can see 30 miles in every direction. 0-1. Reyes fouls right side, 0-2. Didn't have the time to do that yesterday, but as some of the other Otters did, got to just go right across the river and enjoy the beautiful Mississippi waterfront, which is certainly highlighted by the Gateway Arch, tallest monument in the United States. 0-2 to Reyes. The pitch inside. Reyes stumbling out of the way near the head. 1-2. Heats at the belt, sides the shoulders, and delivers. Reyes flies it off the screen right side and into the Grizzlies dugout. Now the arch started designing, they wanted a monument on the waterfront here in the Mississippi River and into St. Louis to honor the explorers that expanded the U.S. to the west. 1-2 home. A breaking ball flare into right field, falls for a hit. Phillips is going to head. No, he's going to hold up at second base. Big turn and heads back as Brandon fields it and tosses it back into the infield. Long at bat for Yomar Reyes, and he wins the battle with a blue pit into right center. And the Otters have 2 on with 1 out, a chance to extend a 2-0 lead. Bring up Ethan Skinder. Another nice night for Ethan at the plate. A single back in the 5th that cap-started the Otters' 2-run 5th. Also had a walk in the 2nd. Righty on righty matchup. Teets home. Inside 1-0. Phillips at second. Reyes at first. 1 out, top 6. Otters looking for some more insurance to help out their ace Tim Holgrafer has had another excellent night here in Sauget. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball in on the hands, 1-1. So the Gateway design, there was 172 submissions for this monument, and it wasn't necessarily an arch. There was animal sculptures proposed. The architect's father ended up being the architect that constructed the gate. The 1-2 grounded third base side. Diving as Estrada, the third baseman, steps on the bag and takes the force out there, 2 away. And now in a rundown is Reyes. They throw back to second, and out is Yomar Reyes. I don't know if Reyes thought time was called or what. He has his hands up in the air in disbelief, on his knees at the second base bag. Andy McCauley is over to argue. Reyes either fell asleep or he thought time was called and started walking off the second base bag. Estrada, the nice play at third, to step on the bag, and then Reyes doubled up at second to end the inning. So the Otters get 2 on with 1 out in the 6th, but can't score. Middle of the 6th inning, it's 2-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 6th inning from Gateway. 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Grizzlies. 2 in the 5th for Evansville. A golden chance in the 6th inning to add more, but Yomar Reyes took too big a turnaround second base and ended up getting thrown out. Be an ending double play. It will go down as in the scorebook. 5-4 ending double play. Tim O'Grafer back on the bump. First pitch to Andrew Penner was swung on and missed. Comes the 0-1 from the Otters ace. Fastball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike to the ready Penner. What a night for Tim O'Grafer so far. 5 shutout. He has scattered 5 singles across 5 innings. 3 strikeouts, no walks. 1-1. Popped up into right field. Over is Jeffrey Baez. A few steps from the track. Makes the running grab. And forward momentum takes him all the way to the wall down the right field line. But there's one away in the 6th. Up Peter Zimmerman. I think in a lot of ways, Tim O'Grafer is the perfect arm for this ballpark. You want someone that keeps the ball down and doesn't put runners on. Because you're playing at a ballpark where so many home runs are hit. And while a solo home run often doesn't lose you a game, a 2 or 3 run homer certainly can. First pitch to Zimmerman, sails outside 1-0. Tim has only allowed 3 home runs all season. That is remarkable. Just 3 home runs allowed and over now 113 innings pitched. There's a few pitchers I think that keep the ball down better than Tim. The 1-0 is stroked down the right field line and hooking foul. Bouncing off the edge of the Gateway clubhouse. That was not too far from the wall down the left field line. 1-1 to Zimmerman. One home. Fastball at the knees, 1-2. What Tim will allow are singles. Not a guy that's going to wow you with stuff. He's allowed at least 4 hits in all of his outings. He has 4 8-inning shutout performances this year and 7 shutout outings. The 1-2 by Zimmerman popped up right side. Phillips racing over, but bounces 5 rows into the seats. Command has been immaculate tonight for Tim. Hasn't gotten to 3 balls to my memory in any at bat. He's only fallen behind a couple times. And he's kept the ball down after the Otters have given up at least a home run in every game to Gateway through the first 3 of the series. 1-2 at the knees, strike 3 called. Cutter at the knees, freezes Zimmerman, 2 away. Beautiful stuff from Tim O'Grafer. It's strikeout number 5. 2 outs, and it brings up the lefty first baseman, Clint Freeman. 2-0 Otters lead, bottom of the 6th, as they try to clinch a spot in the Frontier League playoffs. They've dropped 4 in a row. Pitch home to the lefty Freeman, a breaking ball at the knees for a strike. Washington still leads Joliet. It's now 3-1 in the top of the 8th from Wild Things Ballpark, but Joliet is threatening in the top of the 8th. Keep our eyes tuned there. The 0-1 outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Be a lot sweeter for the Otters to clinch the playoff spot on their own terms tonight. It'll be a fun champagne celebration and a delightful 4-hour bus ride up to Schaumburg that might be delayed a little bit by the champagne showers, but I don't think anyone's going to care if the Otters can finally get over the hump and clinch tonight. The 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Certainly a lot longer stay on the road when you're not winning. Everything's just a little bit harder. 2-1 from O'Grafer. Popped up, high into the air into left. Noah Myers drifting over a few steps from the brown dirt. Makes the catch to retire the side. Tim O'Grafer sends Gateway down in order in the 6th. It's 6 shutout from one of the best pitchers in the Frontier League. We played 6 innings of baseball tonight. It's the Otters 2, the Grizzlies nothing on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. 6 innings of baseball complete tonight from Grizzlies Ballpark in Sauget, Illinois. The Otters lead 2-0 over the Gateway Grizzlies. 2 runs in the 5th inning is all for Evansville, but Tim Oldgrafer having a brilliant night tonight on the mound for the Otters. 6 shutout for Tim Oldgrafer. He's outlasted Colin Sullivan, who didn't allow an earned run, but only made it through 5 innings tonight for Gateway. Brian Rosario, switch hitter batting lefty, leads off for the Otters in the 7th and takes the first pitch fastball from Trevor Teets. Teets worked the 6th inning, worked around a single for a scoreless 6th inning in his first work out of the pen. The 0-1, a broken bat flare into center field. Back is the shortstop Veerling, looking up and making the over-the-shoulder grab. Nice play by Mark Veerling. It amazes me sometimes how bats break and the ball will still carry so far. I was up in the air a while, and Veerling, really nice catch, taking him well out into left, over the shoulder to make the play for the first out. So 1 out, it brings up Justin Felix, who's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Felix still looking for his first hit of the series. Pitch home to the ready catcher. Oh, look out. High and back to the backstop, 1-0. I was mentioning the arch before. The last note I wanted to mention, I just found it amusing as I was educating myself a little bit about the Gateway Arch while walking around it in St. Louis yesterday. Comes the 1-0 to Felix. It's driven into left field, coming in Goodell, and he'll play it on a hop. Justin Felix, there's his first hit of the series. A line drive into left field, bounces in front of the Gateway left fielder. And Felix aboard at first with 1 out. He'll bring up George Khalil. The architect who ended up being selected to design the arch, Eero Saarinen, Finnish-American architect. I mentioned there was all these different proposals for how to design the arch. There was a committee designed to see what would be the monuments, what would be the design of the monuments for the arch. Or, well, it wasn't even an arch, just for the monument. It ended up being the arch by Saarinen as Khalil takes low 1-0. But his dad also submitted his own drawings. They were working together. The 1-0 inside, 2 balls and no strikes. His dad, Eero, submitted his own entry, a tall rectangular stone gate, which, yeah, it's not as exciting as a 600-foot-high arch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 to Khalil. There's 172 submissions, animal sculptures, statue of the signing of the Louisiana Purchase, and a father versus son competition, but some won out, and that's why the Gateway Arch by Eero Saarinen still standing here, and millions of visitors every year. The 2-1 to Khalil is launched high in the air to left. Goodell back, looking up. Goodbye. George Khalil, a 2-run home run, and the Otters double the lead, 4-0 Evansville. .330 feet off the bat of George Khalil, a moonshot. You got to hit one high and tall, especially tall, to get one over the 15-foot high wall in left. And Khalil comfortably cleared it, 90 miles per hour off the bat. But that's one where you look at the launch angle, was able to help it clear the wall. First pitch to Noah Myers is driven to left. Goodell back. He'll have space at the edge of the track to make the catch. No, he dropped the baseball. Oh, Goodell dropped the ball. Wow. So after a home run hit over his head, Goodell in the very next pitch seemingly had the ball in his glove. It popped out, and now Myers is at first. 3 straight have reached for the Otters. That's the 3rd error of the night for Gateway. Well, they clinched the division last night. Who can blame them? So Myers at first with 1 out. The 2-run home run by George Khalil, making it 4-0 Evansville in the top of the 7th. Pitch home to Kona Quiggle. The lefty takes outside, 1-0. Home run apiece in each game last night for the Otters. Khalil launching a home run over the left field wall, the first in this series for either side to left. 1-0 home as Myers takes off. Throw down to second is not in time. It bounces off the glove of Penner, who can't squeeze it. And Myers is into second base with his 39th stolen base of the season. George Khalil, a 2-run home run, doubling the lead for the Otters. It's the 5th homer of the season for George and his first hit of the series. It's a way to bounce out of a slump. He was 0 for 9 entering that at bat in this series. So Myers at second with 1 out. 2-0 to Quiggle. Comes home. Quiggle pops it up a million miles into the sky. Back as the first baseman Freeman, backpedaling into foul territory, and he drops the baseball. Oh my goodness. Maybe the Grizzlies defenders are still feeling the effects of the champagne from last night. Granted, that was a really tough play for Freeman. That was up in the air for a while. Freeman had to drift over into foul territory, but I mean, when it hits off your glove, it's just a play that you should make. Luckily, only for Freeman, it was that it drifted foul, so it's not a single. Just a mulligan for Quiggle and a 2-1 count. Myers at second, 4-0 Otters in the top of the 7th, looking to blow this game open and take another step closer to finally securing that playoff spot. The 2-1 at the knees, 2-2. Noah Myers, too, at second base in scoring position. If he scores, he sets the record for most Otters runs in a single season. Scored a run last night to tie the record set by Josh Allen in 2017. 2-2 is hammered high in the sky to right field. Stewart back. See you later. Off the Jumbotron, a 2-run shot for Kona Quiggle. 6-0 Evansville. 100 miles off the bat, 370 feet into the Sauget sky. And the record for Noah Myers. His teammate and friend Kona Quiggle, a 2-run home run, and Noah Myers, 84 runs, the most runs scored in an Otters single season in 28 years of Evansville baseball. 2 2-run homers in the inning for the Otters, and it's 6-0. Baez swings and misses through a fastball at Teets, 0-1. What a series it's been, too, for Kona Quiggle. 7th hit of the series, his 12th home run of the season, and his 2nd in as many nights. He had a grand slam last night in Game 1. The 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2 to Baez. Gateway can certainly point at themselves, too, for some mistakes tonight. Freeman dropped a ball in foul territory. That would have been the 2nd out, and Kona got a 2nd chance and took advantage. Baez swings and misses, and there's 2 away. Finally an out for Teets and Gateway. 4 straight at reach. Single by Felix, the 2-run homer to left for Khalil. Myers reaching on the drop ball by Goodell in left, and then the 370-foot homer by Kona Quiggle off the base of the scoreboard in right field. Felt like the Otters were going to need some home runs tonight if they wanted to win. They've gotten that here with 2 in the 7th. Dakota Phillips takes a first pitch strike, 0-1. 4 across for a big inning for the Otters, and it's 6-0 Evansville. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. You have a starter dealing. Just got to make him work hard, and that's what the Otters did. They got Colin Sullivan up to 93 pitches through 5, chased him out of the game even though he's pitching well, and they've hit off Trevor Teets here in the 7th. 0-2. Swing and a miss, ball in the dirt, picked up by the catcher Hernandez. He'll toss down to first in time to get Phillips for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 2-run home runs for the Otters. First, George Khalil to left, Kona Quiggle to right, and it's 6-0 Evansville as Noah Myers makes history, his 84th run of the season, the most in Otters single season history. It's time to stretch for the final time here in Sauget. 6-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 7th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark, a 6-0 Otters lead over the Grizzlies. Evansville getting closer and closer to finally securing that Frontier League playoff spot. They've waited all week here in Sauget. Kyle Goodell leading off for Gateway. He's taking the first 2 pitches inside from Tim Holgrafer. Pitch home from Tim, a slider on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. The Otters were an out away from winning last night and securing their playoff spot. They've got 6 runs in front here of Gateway. You need 9 more outs. 2-1. Slider misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Washington still leading Joliet 3-2, bottom 8. Wild Things can win and sweep the Slammers, but the Otters hold on and win here. They no longer care. It doesn't matter. They're in. 3-1, grounded left side. Coming in Khalil. He gloves it, tosses to first to beat Goodell comfortably, 1 away. You don't want to start counting them if you're the Otters because they got so close last night. But man, Tim Holgrafer, what a job he's done tonight. 6 1/3 now for Tim on 77 pitches, 4 strikeouts, no walks. He's allowed just 5 base runners, all on singles. And only in the first inning were there 2 in 1 inning. First pitch to DJ Stewart is ripped down the left field line, and that will roll all the way to the wall. This will be extra bases. Stewart hustling to second as Myers picks it up. A stand-up double for DJ Stewart. And there is the first extra base hit of the game for Gateway. Stewart barreling one up to the left field line, and it rolled all the way to the wall. Just the second runner in scoring position today for Gateway in the first since the first inning. Stewart at second, bringing up Mark Vierling. 78 pitches for Tim. Trying for another shutout inning, the shutout outing. The Otters bullpen is quiet, and the Otters would love for Tim to go as deep as possible and rest a very tired Otters bullpen. All 7 arms have been used through the first 3 games of this series. Pitch home to Mark Vierling. The shortstop takes on the outside corner, a strike, 0-1. Tim has 4 8-inning shutout performances this season. And he has 7 shutout starts this year, all which win at least 6 innings. 0-1. Swing and a miss by Vierling. Big slider, 0-2. 2 for the Otters in the 5th, 4 in the 7th. A 2-run homer by George Khalil. Kona Quiggle would fall 2 batters later with a 2-run homer of his own, and sending his friend Noah Myers into the record books for the most runs in an Otters single season. Noah's 84th run of the season. 0-2. Check swing by Vierling. He held up on a pitch outside of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Otters. No runs on 6 hits, 3 errors for the Grizzlies. Tim out of the stretch, delivers. Chopped off the end of the bat in front of home plate. Justin Felix will pick it up, throw to first. 1 hop, skips into the glove of Felix. 2 away. It wasn't Justin's best throw of the night. A little short-handed it, but Phillips able to pick it off the dirt and beat Vierling down the line 2 away as Stewart goes to third. Bring up Willie Estrada, who's had a nice night. He's 2 for 3. Well, great for trying to get the last out of the 7th and keep his shutout performance going. 6-0 Otters lead tonight. Not only Evansville trying to clinch a playoff spot, trying to avoid being swept. Only been swept once all season. Only Quebec is with the Honors in that category. First pitch to Estrada, grounded up the middle, over is the second baseman Skinner to collect. He tosses to first in time for the inning-ending out. Tim Holgrafer works around a double for now 7 shutout innings. It's 6-0 Otters as we go to the 8th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top of the 8th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark. 6-0 lead for Evansville over Gateway. The Otters 2 innings away from booking their ticket to the Frontier League playoffs here in the series finale from Sauget. Omar Reyes leads off for the Otters in the top of the 8th and takes a first pitch strike. New pitcher in. Trevor Teets, his day is done after 2 innings out of the bullpen. Gateway sending the righty Nate Garco out here for the 8th. Garco turns and delivers to Reyes. Reyes smashes one up the middle past the glove of the shortstop Veerling into the left center field, base hit. Second hit of the night for Yomar Reyes. Quick hit off Garco. Making his 39th appearance of the season, 3.97 ERA and 45 in a third innings pitched. He pitched yesterday night against the Otters, but just only faced a few batters, just got 2 outs and walked 1. Otters have their first hit off of him with a Reyes hit up the middles. Ethan Skinder fouls the first pitch he sees away. 8 hits now for the Otters on 6 runs. And a 6-0 lead tonight here from Sauget, Illinois, just outside of downtown St. Louis. A 1 home off the end of the bat of Skinder. And back to the backstop, 0-2. Otters have been so resilient all season long. Every time it feels like they've been punched and knocked back to the canvas, they've stood back up and they've thrown a bunch of their own. They're doing so again this evening. 0-2 home. Popped up right side and drifting out of play. Otters are 5-1 this year when playing to avoid a sweep. In this case, it's to avoid a 4-game sweep after losing the first 3 games. Includes two of those wins in August against Windy City and Washington to avoid sweeps. The Otters, as I mentioned earlier, one of only 2 Frontier League teams that have only been swept once this year. Quebec is the other. 0-2, swing and a miss. Big bender from Garco strikes down Skinder, 1 away. We're going to Brian Rosario with Reyes at first. 1 out, top 8, 6-0 Otters. A big reason, too, the Otters winning those games to put away the brooms of their opponent, the offense. 6.5 runs the Otters averaging in those 5 wins, and they put up 6 tonight. They've gotten a stellar pitching performance as well by Tim Holdgrave for 7 shutout innings for Tim. The pitch inside to Brian Rosario, and it's 1-0 to Rosie. Switch hitter batting lefty. Bullpen is still quiet for the Otters. Looks like Holdgrafer's coming out for the 8th. Tim to try to pitch another 8-inning shutout performance. 1-0 on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's 4 of them on the season. He'll try to make it 5. And a matchup of 2 all-star starters, and Colin Sullivan for Gateway, Tim Holdgrafer for Evansville. It has been Holdgrafer who has decisively won the pitching matchup tonight. 1-1 to Rosario. Popped up and drifting out of play. 1-2 counts. Washington has won against Joliet. 3-2 win for the Wild Things over the Slammers. 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. So if the Otters do lose tonight, they will not clinch. Washington has swept Joliet. And again, for another night, comes down to an Otters win, they're in. A loss, we win another day. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Hernandez. 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Garco. Bring up Justin Felix, who had a single back in the 7th and scored on George Khalil's home run. Reyes at first and 2 outs. 6-0 Otters lead. Schaumburg leads Florence 7-4. They're now into the bottom of the 9th at Thomas More Stadium. The first pitch to Felix, in for a strike at the letters 0-1. So if that result holds, then the Otters will be mathematically eliminated from hosting the wild card game. The Otters win here, and everything's set in the West. There's not much left to play for then this weekend, at least in terms of the standings. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to Felix. Gateway locked into the 1 seed already. Schaumburg, they hold on to win, locked into the 2 seed. The Otters win here. They're locked into the 3 seed. The wild card game slated for next Tuesday. 0-2 count to Felix. Garko delivers. Swing and a miss. Another nasty bender from Garko. And after the leadoff base hit, Garko strikes out the side in the 8th. 6-0 Otters. Tim Oldgrafer back to work the bottom of the 8th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 8th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark. 6 more outs needed for the Otters, and they're into the Frontier League playoffs. Tim Oldgrafer out to work his 8th inning. First pitch comes home and is grounded right side. Skinder collects, tosses to first, 1 away. Alex Hernandez grounds out on the very first pitch he sees from Oldgrafer. There's been a lot of quick outs tonight for Tim. He's through 7 1/3 now on just 84 pitches. 1 out and back to the top of the order in Cole Brannon. Just 6 base runners tonight for Gateway, 5 singles and a double scattered over 6 innings. Oldgrafer home, a first pitch strike to the lefty Brannon, who's 0 for 3 today. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Otters. They plated 2 in the 5th before 2 2-run homers in the 7th. Quiggle and Khalil, a 4-run 7th. The 0-1 chop left side coming in. Khalil, the shortstop, throw to first. It will be Brannon by a stride. 2 outs. 2 quick outs on just 3 pitches for Oldgrafer here in the 8th, and it brings up Andrew Penner. Four more outs for the Otters to reach what they've been playing for all season. First pitch to the ready, Penner, grounded left side and foul, 0-1. Tim Oldgrafer, could he get to the finish line? 5 8-inning shutout for 4 8-inning shutout performances this season. He's an out away from completing a shutout. Could he come out for the 9th? It's certainly possible. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Cutter down low. Oldgrafer on the first base side of the rubber. Black glove sets at the belt, kicks and throws. Swung on and 1 hop to Khalil at short. Pretty play by the shortstop. Collects, throws to first to get Penner by a step. Great play by the Otters shortstop Khalil. A tough hop to play it on and a long throw across the diamond from the edge of the left field grass. It secures 8 shutout innings for Tim Oldgrafer. Masterful work by the Otters ace. We go to the ninth, 6-0 Evansville. 3 outs away from the playoffs on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Back in Sauget, Illinois, the Otters closing in on another playoff berth under Andy McCauley. They lead 6-0 as we go to the top of the ninth. Tim Oldgrafer, 8 shutout innings tonight. Another masterful performance by the Otters ace. Evansville getting 2 long balls by Kona Quiggle and George Khalil. In the 7th inning, they scratch across 2 runs on the 5th with the help of 2 Gateway errors. And the Otters are 3 outs away after falling so close last night to securing a playoff berth of finally punching their ticket and ending a 4-game losing streak. George Khalil will lead off in the top of the ninth. New pitcher in for Gateway. It's the righty Brian Eichhorn out of the pen. 21st game, 1.93 ERA for the second-year rookie. Righty comes home. A first pitch inside to Khalil, 1-0. 21st appearance of the season for Eichhorn, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 34 strikeouts to just 9 walks. Third arm out of the pen for Gateway after the Otters chase Colin Sullivan after 5. Khalil swings and unloads on one to left, racing over Goodell, leaning up by the wall and makes the catch. Khalil so close to a 2-home run night. One away, back to the top of the order in Noah Myers. History tonight for the Canadian. The, in my opinion, runaway winner for Rookie of the Year in the Frontier League, setting a new Otters record tonight, scoring on Kona Quiggle's home run for his 84th run of the season. First pitch in for a strike from Eichhorn, 0-1. Breaking the record of Otters legend Josh Allen, who scored 83 runs in 2017, most runs in an Otters single season in 28 years of Otters baseball. A 1 inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And in my mind, and I was filling out my ballot today for the Frontier League postseason awards, there's no one else in Myers' category in terms of the Rookie of the Year that has any shot at winning it over Noah. 1-1 inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. He has been one of the best players in the league, not just one of the best rookies in the league. And he should win the 4th Rookie of the Year award in Otters history. Taylor Wright won the last one for Evansville, pitcher back in 2019. 2-1 home. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. 109 hits on the season for Noah. Entered the day 11th in the league in hits. 39 stolen base today. That's 5th in the league. 84 hits. 3rd in the league. 61 walks entering today. That's 8th in the league on base percentage. 431. That's 8th in the league. He's top 10 in doubles. He's top 10 in extra base hits as he takes outside for another walk. 62nd walk of the season for Noah Myers. He's aboard for the 3rd time today. Another nice series for Noah. 2 runs, 3 walks, 3 stolen bases, and 3 hits. He continues to be the consummate leadoff batter and heart and soul of this Otters team. Noah at first with 1 out, and it brings up Kona Quiggle, who brought him home for the historic home run with a 370-foot blast off the base of the Jumbotron in right field. First pitch to Kona. This is low, 1-0. There is no action in the Otters bullpen. It appears Tim Mulgraver will be coming out for the ninth to try to complete the first complete game of the season for the Otters. No one has even worked into the ninth as a starter this year. 1-0 on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Schaumburg has beaten Florence 7-4. The Boomers have clinched the 2 seed in the West. Means the Otters, with a win tonight, are into the playoffs and know they'll be playing the wild card game at Schaumburg on Tuesday. 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. And it could be a very strange series this weekend at Wintrust Field, with little to play for between two teams that will then be playing one game on Tuesday to decide their season's fate. But I bet we'll talk more about that this weekend. 1-2 to Quiggle. Myers at first. 6-0 Otters, top of the ninth. Eichhorn shrugs the shoulders and deals. Low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two to Kona. Outside and a full count. Otters Vice President Joel Padfield. Every year, the Otters try to clinch a playoff spot. He's in charge of the champagne. If the Otters go on the road, Joel, who's worked for the Otters for over a decade, joins the team on the road, brings the champagne, keeps it in the cooler on ice, gets it ready for the Otters to pop it and celebrate. Myers takes off. The payoff home is launched high in the air to right field. Back is Stewart at the wall. If it's fair, it's foul. Just to the right of the right field foul pole. Quiggle almost at his 3rd home run of the series. That ball was up in the sky for millenniums. It just hooked maybe 5 feet to the right of the right field foul pole and bounced along the concourse over the wall and right. Kona is limping a little bit as he walks back to the batter's box. Hopefully okay. So Myers heads back to first with 1 out in the ninth. 6-0 Otters, trying to add a few more runs for a little added insurance before the bottom of the ninth. Payoff home for Mike Gorn. It's flied left side and out of play. Myers took off again and was getting in his steps today, no doubt, as he jogs back to first. Joel has had a longer stay here in Sauget than the Otters were hoping for, losing the first 3 games of this series. Any one of those wins would have clinched. But on this final night, the champagne is tasting closer and closer to the Otters' lips. 3rd payoff home. Myers takes off again, pitches high, ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Eichhorn, and Myers at second, Quiggle at first, brings up Jeffrey Baez. What a job Andy McCauley has done with Evansville. Otters already clinching a 500 or better season for the 10th straight year under the Otters skipper, Andy McCauley. And Evansville, with 3 more outs, will make the Frontier League playoffs for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons. Back-to-back years. The Otters, as well with a win, clinch a 50-win season, 49-43, with 3 games left to play after today. Myers at second, Quiggle at first, 1 out. Jeffrey Baez, the ready batter, is 0 for 4 this evening. Eichhorn deals home. Baez takes high, 1-0. There have been some interesting results on the other side of the Frontier League in the East. Your out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Here's the pitch home from Eichhorn. Baez takes on the inside corner, 1-1. Sussex County playing for their playoff lives, trailing by 2 runs entering the 9th inning. The Miners score 3 in the 9th in Troy, New York, to win the game over the Valley Cats 5-4 and keep their playoff hopes going. 1-1. Baez fouls off the screen. Not only that, but Quebec completes the sweep of New York 4-2. And an absolutely fascinating weekend to decide the third and final playoff spot in the East now. New York, Tri-City, and Sussex County all separated now by just a game. Sussex County and New York a game back of Tri-City with 3 games left to play. And Sussex County plays Empire State this weekend. The Miners could have the hand up. That is going to be an interesting weekend to decide who squeezes into that last playoff spot in the East. 1-2, swing and a miss by Baez, and there's 2 away. Quebec, big win, 2 over New York. They're now a game up over New Jersey with 3 games to play, trying to take that first spot in the East, the defending champs in the Frontier League. None of the spots, 1, 2, or 3, will be set in the East going into the final weekend, while the Otters, if they hold on to win here, all 3 spots in the Frontier League playoffs in the West are set in stone. 2 outs for Dakota Phillips with 2 on in the 9th. It's 6-0 Otters. Garko home. Phillips takes the strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Sussex County, they've won 3 in a row, 7 of their last 11, and Tri-City has dropped 5 games in a row. All they needed was 1 of those games against the Miners to eliminate Sussex County, and they got swept at home. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2 to Phillips. I mentioned it yesterday in the incident that happened at Sunday between New York and Tri-City. New York won that, and this week both of those teams get swept. Something crazy happens, it can linger for days, and that might have happened to both the Boulders and the Valley Cats. It'll be an interesting weekend in the East. 0-2 to Phillips. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here the Otters, 6 runs on 8 hits. Tim Holgrafer has pitched 8 shutout, and he appears to be coming out for the 9th inning to try to get the Otters' first complete game of 2023. Otters closing in on a magical night from Sauget. 1-2 for Mike Gorn. Check swing, pitch up in the zone, appeal down to third. Phillips held up, and the Grizzlies starting to walk off the field. Will have to walk back to their positions, 2-2. Myers at second, Quiggle at first. 2 outs here in the 9th. Gateway will have the heart of the lineup coming up in the bottom half of the 9th. Zimmerman, Freeman, and Goodell. And you know the Otters after last night will not put a smile on their faces until out number 27 is recorded. 2-2. Right down the middle, strike 3 called. 2 base runners for the Otters in the 9th. They can't score, but all eyes on Tim Holgrafer and Evansville. In the bottom of the 9th, Tim tries to complete the complete game, and the Otters 3 outs away from booking their ticket to the Frontier League playoffs. We're back in a minute. The Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 9th inning from Grizzlies Ballpark in Sauget, Illinois. A 6-0 lead for Evansville over Gateway. The Otters 3 outs away from booking their ticket to the Frontier League playoffs. Tim Holgrafer, 8 dominant innings. He's allowed no runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 6 hits, 5 singles. Only 1 inning, and it was back in the first of even 2 Grizzlies reached in the same inning. Tim is going to try to complete the first 9-inning shutout of the Otters season and deliver the Otters ticket to the Frontier League playoffs. Peter Zimmerman will lead off for Gateway. It's 3-4-5 for the Grizzlies. Zimmerman, Freeman, and Goodell. Oldgrafer home. First pitch misses outside 1-0. Kevin Davis is warming up in the Otters bullpen if Oldgrafer gets in trouble. That was pitch number 90 on the night for Tim. Working on the first base side of the mound. The 1-0 home. Grounded third base side. It's a foul ball. Just to the left of the third base bag. And Reyes looking back at third base umpire Eric Whittom with a smile of appreciation on his face for that call. A long walk back for Peter Zimmerman to retrieve the bat behind home plate. He was all the way around first. Tim looking for his 9th win of the season here in his 19th start, which is tied for the second most starts in Otters single season history. Tim turns and fires. Strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Cutter, Oldgrafer's secret weapon, you could call it, though it's not so secret to much of the league now. Has led him to be one of the best pitchers in the Frontier League for a third straight year. 1-2 home. Grounded hard left side, backhanded by the shortstop Khalil. He collects, throws to first to beat Zimmerman. 1 out. Clint Freeman, lefty first baseman, comes to the plate. Oldgrafer and the Otters were an out away last night, not once but twice, in both games of the doubleheader from making it to the playoffs. They've bounced back tonight, a 6-0 lead in the ninth, 2 outs from Champaign. The first pitch home, grounded by Freeman left side. Khalil's the shortstop there. He tosses to first, 2 away. Tim Oldgrafer has retired his last 6 batters, an out away from a complete game shutout, and an out away from the Otters into the playoffs. First pitch to Clint Freeman. The righty takes outside, 1-0. Pitch number 95 of the night for Tim Oldgrafer. His season high, 102. High step for Oldgrafer. Dips, turns, and pitches. Outside, 2-0 to Goodell. Left fielder, 0 for 3 today. Two-0 home. Swing and a miss. 2-1 on a runaway slider. Oldgrafer out of the windup. The 2-1 to Goodell. Swing and a miss. Another slider, 2-2. The Otters 1 strike away. The 2-2 home. Outside corner, strike 3 called. The 4 chapters to be written about 2023 Otters. Evansville is going to the Frontier League playoffs. The story of the regular season Otters has been resiliency. They've taken punch after punch and responded every time. The Gateway Grizzlies won both games last night on a walk-off. One of the hardest nights of the Otters season. But Evansville bounces back tonight on the back of Tim Oldgrafer, a complete game shutout. And the Otters smiles and hugs around the mound. A complete game shutout, and Evansville has clinched the 3 seed in the Frontier League West playoffs. Classy move by Gateway, putting the insignia up on the scoreboard, congratulating the Otters. Otters, one of the longest hugs and handshake lines I've seen all season. Tim Oldgrafer has the biggest smile on his face I think I've ever seen Tim have after a 9-inning complete shutout performance. A big hug from Andy McCauley and some words exchanged. And somewhere the Otters Vice President Joel Padfield is getting the champagne ready for the Otters party. It took 4 games here at Gateway. It took 3 losses. It took heartbreak last night, and it took 93 games. But the Otters are going back to the Frontier League playoffs for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons. Tim O'Grafer tonight. His final line on 99 pitches. 9 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts, no walks. He allowed just 6 hits on 5 singles over 9 innings. Only twice all game did Gateway have a runner in scoring position. One of the most dominant pitching performances by an Otter this season. And for Tim, his 8th shutout outing of the season and his 5th time going 8 or more innings in a shutout performance. But the Otters' first complete game shutout. And what a time to do, and the Otters badly needed a win. They'd lost 4 in a row for the first time all season, dropped the first 3 against Gateway, and just trying to get over that hump into the playoffs. They get an unbelievable performance from Tim O'Grafer to clinch a spot in the Frontier League playoffs. Tim was dominant on the mound, and the Otters got enough offensively tonight. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Otters. They scored 2 in the 5th inning. Both were unearned off Colin Sullivan. Ethan Skidder led off with a base hit. George Khalil appeared that he would ground out to the 6-3 ending ground out, but Mark Vierling, the shortstop, threw the ball at the feet of Freeman. Brian Rosario scored, and then Noah Myers worked a 9-pitch at bat for an RBI base hit to make it 2-0 Evansville. The 7th was about power for the Otters. Justin Felix had a base hit. George Khalil launched a 2-run home run over the 15-foot high wall in left field to make it 4-0 after Noah Myers reached on an air. Kona Quiggle launched a 2-run homer to make it 6-0 for the Otters, and that score would hold for a 6-0 win for Evansville. Also some history tonight. Noah Myers scoring on that Kona Quiggle homer, his 84th run of the season, a new single-season record in Otters history. Most runs in a season, breaking the record from 2017 that Otters legend Josh Allen set. Otters improved to 50-43 on the season. They're not swept. They've still only been swept once this season. End of 4-game losing streak. Clinched their spot in the Frontier League playoffs, and they're locked into the 3 spot. They will play the Schaumburg Boomers on Tuesday at Wintrust Field in the wildcard game, a rematch of last year's wildcard game. Gateway falls to 57-36, but they have already locked up the division in the Frontier League West. What a moment for the Otters. Thank you for letting me spend it with you. It's been a long season, a lot of ups and downs, but the end goal is always the playoffs and a chance to play for the championship. And through the ups and downs of long 93 games to get here, the Otters about to pop champagne in the clubhouse and celebrate another berth in the Frontier League playoffs. There is more baseball to be played this weekend. The Otters, after some celebrations tonight, will travel up to Schaumburg for 3 games against the Boomers to close out the regular season. First pitch tomorrow evening is slated for 6:30 from Wintrust Field. Will be on the air on the Otters Digital Network for some Labor Day weekend baseball. Little preview between the Boomers and the Otters before they play in their playoff game next Tuesday. That will also be in Schaumburg. The Otters are going back to the playoffs. A 6-0 victory tonight as part of a 9-inning shutout, complete game shutout performance by the Otters ace, Tim O'Grafer. I want to thank everyone here in the Grizzlies press box. It's been a blast of the last 4 days. Excellent hospitality by everyone here in the press box. Jared does an excellent job here running everything and keeping a smile on my face through what's been certainly an up and down 4 days. Thank you to everyone back in Flow Sports as well. And I've been Griffin Epstein on the Otters Digital Network. The Evansville Otters going back to the Frontier League playoffs. A 6-0 victory tonight. Pop some champagne at home, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow from Schaumburg. Good night.